I'm so stoked. Whether you're on the couch or hanging out with us here, we are taking a plane trip today because we're going to cooking school, specifically in Italy. We're going to Italian cooking school. That's where I went to school. That's where I went to cooking school. I chose Italy because there's like a rusticity there. There's like a familial thing there. I didn't want to learn like, soldier, yes sir, type. That's French cooking. Italian cooking's from the heart. Italian cooking, there's feel, there's love, and it's unbelievable. You go there, and the most simple things that you think you know, they get elevated. You think you know ice cream. You eat it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the best ice cream of your life. And I remember I had chicken, and I was 19 years old. I'm like, it's chicken. Okay, all the normal chicken. And one of my teachers taught me this chicken. And again, I thought I knew chicken. This took it to a whole new level. So for our first bite, I'm doing 40 garlic clove chicken. Check this out. Yeah. You say 40 garlic clove chicken, this is not good for a date night. I'll say that right now. You have horrible breath, but it's just so warming. And there's something about caramelized garlic. When you hit it right on the edge of being burnt, that just kind of, it just works. So number one, when it comes to really good chicken, what I like to do when I was taught in Italy is buy chicken breast with the skin on. Even if you're not gonna eat the skin, if it's not your jam, cook it with the skin on because it keeps it incredibly moist. It's almost like a sausage casing. And if you want to peel it off later, I'm cool with that. I don't care about that. But it makes it incredibly juicy. So I have 2 chicken breasts with the skin on that we just seared in a lot of olive oil because we're at Italian cooking school. And these are still raw in the middle. So I just got them brown. And you can see what's left inside the pan is just love. If this wasn't scorching hot, I'd lick it. Yeah. I mean, this right here, these little brown bits, this is what's gonna make this sauce what it is. And like I said, it's 40 garlic clove chicken. And you could take 40 hours in peeling 40 garlic cloves. Or have you guys seen these? These are insane. You have? Are you obsessed?
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, Dorot Gardens. Unbelievable. They freeze lots of herbs. In this case, each one of these little pods are frozen garlic cloves. Keep them in your freezer. You just pop them, they drop, done. Really easy. So you just kind of drop them in. I love it. So we have a couple here already. I'm gonna get them all out there. They're really nice. And what's also nice is that they're frozen at their peak freshness. So unlike jarred garlic where it's kind of mute, this is just, it hits right there. So we're gonna add in our garlic and you can within a second, it just hits you. And it's just, 40 cloves is no joke, people. 40 cloves is no joke. We're also gonna pop in, we've got the onion too. You can chop up the onion, but this one comes a little bit caramelized, which is really nice. So again, just pop, drop, done, easy. And we're just gonna let that kind of caramelize. Now, this chicken I had in Italy had something that just had depth to it. And what I learned in Italian cooking school is tomato paste is huge. Do you guys cook with tomato paste a lot? We cook with tomato sauce, but tomato paste is when they take the tomato sauce and they spread it over a huge table in the sun and they let it sit out for 3 days. And what happens is all the water evaporates and it just becomes this really thick paste. And it tastes like it's been cooking forever because it's been in the sun evaporating, and it gives you that really deep, rich kind of experience. So just a tablespoon of this transforms this chicken. Can you guys smell it, by the way?
Yeah.
And then a couple other ingredients that I love. Sun-dried tomatoes, artichoke hearts. These, when I had in Italy, were with fava beans. Do you guys ever cook with those? They were so bright and fresh, but sometimes you just don't. Who has fava beans? So go in, grab some jarred artichoke hearts, so get in there. And now we're just sauteing all of that in all of this goodness. It looks insane. We've got some oregano, bay leaf, some chili flake. You shake that in there, give a little bit of salt, and I'm just gonna kind of scrape this through and let this cook for a minute. Now, as I season, I think about, here at Homemade, we're not just an amazing show. We also teach online cooking classes every single week. We have an amazing team of chefs. One of them is with us, and he specializes in teaching Italian food. Give it up for Nico. What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Nico, you've taught so many people how to cook Italian food. You are Italian. You just got back from Italy.
Yep.
what is like the #1 mistake people make when they try and cook Italian food, in your mind?
The biggest mistake that folks often make when cooking at home is not seasoning enough and not seasoning as they go.
Yes.
And so right here, already what you've done when you're talking about the chicken, seasoning that ahead of time, putting that sear on it, locking in those juices.
Yep.
I saw you put a big old pinch of salt into that sauce.
It was there. It was there.
What happens when you season as you go and as you season in layers is that you draw more flavor out of each component.
Yes.
And it's going to taste better at the end. Because if you were to put no salt in this, right? If you were to just season at the end, you get that superficial salt on your palate, and then the food drops off on the back. And one of the biggest examples we always like to give in class when we're teaching is the noodle. If you've ever cooked a piece of pasta before in unsalted water, you only have one chance to season that pasta, and that's in the water. If you forget to salt it, you take it out and you're like, oh darn, that's kind of a bland noodle.
Yeah.
You can always put a seasoned sauce on top of it, but the best time you have to season that is when it's in the water, so seasoning as you go. That is the mistake that people make.
That is right. Very good advice. By the way, I'm stealing the band name Bland Noodle. I love that name. All right, so I've got a little honey here because there's just a lot of richness going on here. So honey goes right in, and that will counter it. And then I've got 2 things to kind of deglaze. I've got white wine and chicken stock. So those are both going in. And once that's in, you want to give everything a huge scrape. So you take this chicken back up, you tuck it into bed, just like that. All right, and you let this go for about 8 minutes. And what's cool about this is it's steaming at this point. So we went from searing, which can make it really dry because there's no liquid in it, to steaming, which like surrounds it with moisture, and it makes it unbelievably unctuous and juicy. This is why Italians can take something simple like a chicken breast and just elevate it. So these are ones that are done. It's really reduced down, so the sauce has gotten insanely thick, and I just kind of baste. So good. At this point, I'm gonna take some kale, or spinach would be really nice, add that in there. I'm gonna add a glug of cream, okay? They would kill me in Italy if I did this, but I think it kind of adds just a little bit of just extra, I don't know, softness, velvetyness, so just a little bit, like a tablespoon is all you really need. And we're just gonna kind of let that cook down, and as that cook, I have to ask Nico another question. Since we got you, you just got back from Italy.
I did, yeah.
With the fam? Where did you go with?
Yeah, it was my parents' 45th wedding anniversary.
Oh, so, that's awesome. Yeah. I love that.
Went for a nice trip.
So when you go, like, what did you take away from this trip? Like, what was the big?
So, especially in Italy, every time I go, I always want to try to learn something new. And as you know, I'm an absolute pizza obsessee. In Naples, this is the birthplace of pizza, especially Neapolitan pizza. And so, as a pizza obsessee, I was really interested in watching the process. And so I was just blown away by how puffy they were able to keep the crust by the stretching techniques that they use, how amazingly crisp it was, but still like a really soft and puffy dough.
Yes.
Had to watch them in Naples and really see how it's done.
Sounds terrible. Pizza eating in Italy. Sounds terrible. I love it. Well, while you were telling us about pizza, our kale has wilted down. This is ready to go. So I just grab one of these, right? And I go right on the plate. Look at that. And then I get in there, and you kind of shake that sauce. Make sure you're getting all of it. You just kind of drizzle. And if the bay leaf comes, that's awesome. That's the whole deal here. Yep. It's no fuss. And then the way I finish this, if we're going to Italian cooking school, we're going to eat some Parmesan cheese. So a little bit over the top. You can give it a little wedge of lemon, but that is about it, you guys. My absolute favorite Tuscan 40 clove garlic chicken. I want you to try this. I want you to try this out. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what Nico says. I'll do it with you. Insane. You can smell it, right? It's so potent. Oh, isn't that crazy? Isn't that great? It tastes like it's been cooking for hours. So good. Yeah, loving it?
It's outstanding. Yeah, it's like a hug in the mouth. It's so warm.
Hug in the mouth, baby. I'll take it. I love it. Well, coming up next, obviously you guys saw that we used a lot of chicken stock here. We all have a lot of chicken stock at home, popping out of our ears. We wanted to show you guys how to save that chicken stock. So watch this. Yo guys, we are in the Homemade Prep Kitchen. I am with our culinary producer, Meg. What's up?
Hey.
A big, huge, important part to Meg and to myself is to use food well. And today we're talking about chicken stock.
I always have some. Feels productive when you're using scraps that you've collected along the way.
When you're cooking and you're chopping, have a little bowl nearby and just throw your scraps in there. Throw them all in a little freezer bag, yeah? And then to make the actual stock, how do you do it, Meg?
I'll throw it in a pot, some spices to add a little bit of depth to your broth. You want to cover it with water.
You bring it to a boil, then what, an hour or so?
Yeah, watch a show, come back, let it, let it simmer. Yeah.
So after the show, you got to strain it. And it looks like something like this. And then what, Meg?
So storing is really important. I like to use a shallow container. It's easier to thaw. I'll label them before with the date. And then
This is genius.
An ice cube tray is really great for a risotto. Then you can just pop a cube of your broth in there.
Yeah, the whole point is you don't want to have to defrost the entire bucket of broth. Do it as you need it. For more great tips on how to make the most out of your food, visit usefoodwell.org. Thank you. We are whisking you away to Italy for cooking school today, and we couldn't imagine a better teacher. She teaches the world Italian cooking. She has millions of followers on social media. Give it up for Ereka Vetrini. Goodbye. Oh.
I'm so happy to be here. Hi, everybody. This is so cool.
This is cool, right?
This is so cool.
I mean, so at home, it's you. I mean, you have blown up on TikTok. My sister, by the way, I told her that Ereka was coming. It was like the Beatles were showing up in the town.
Shut up.
I had to get security around Ereka to make sure my sister stayed away. It was bad.
She's
I
so
mean,
sweet.
you have just gone viral. People love you.
Thank
What has
you.
that been like, and how did you get into this?
You know, it's the craziest story. I've always had a love of cooking. I was brought up in my parents' restaurant business, so cooking has always been my way of showing and love, and I've always had people in my home. And my daughter knew this about me, and at age 12, she was like, "Mom, you got to get on TikTok. People are cooking on TikTok." And I'm like, "Joss, I'm not doing the dance. I'm not doing it. I'm not good at it. I'm not doing it." And she's like, "No, Mom, they cook." And I said, "No." So then all of a sudden quarantine hit, and we were really bored. So we created our first recipe.
Okay.
Home from school, make your own lunch. Homemade pasta and sauce in 10 minutes.
That took off, and I kept just kind of pushing it and sharing the recipes that I loved and that were from the heart. And next thing you know, I think 5 years, we got to 1 million on Instagram and TikTok.
Dude.
Separately. It's kind of cool.
That's insane.
Kinda cool.
I mean, that's just crazy. And one of the things that I know that we all relate to you is how approachable you are. You're just us, and you make it easy. And I know you grew up in an immigrant home. Did that inform your style?
Yeah, well, actually, my parents, because they are immigrants, they did things by the books. And you'll see it in this recipe today, too. Everything was more long form. I think that Italians believe there's a process, and sometimes it is a longer form.
Yes.
I, growing up and finally having children, was like, I can't do it the way my mom did it all the time. I'm going to do the best that I can do. And then I just shared. I lived what I'm sharing. Is the bottom line.
Well, thank you for letting us be a part of it. It's
Thanks for
awesome.
having me
It's
here.
awesome.
I have
So,
so much to learn from you.
for our next bite, we're making pasta e fagioli.
Yes.
It's gonna be, did I say that right?
Pasta e fagioli.
Pasta e fagioli. Everyone say it with me. Pasta e fagioli.
Pasta fagioli, you know. That's it.
All right, how do we start this puppy?
All right, we're gonna keep it really simple. We're gonna start with olive oil because everything in Italian cooking starts with a really generous amount of olive oil, and then we're gonna go in with our sofrito, right?
Yeah, what's sofrito?
Sofrito is the holy trinity. We've got our aromatics, our celery, our onions, and our carrots, and beautiful sound right there.
Yeah.
And
you want to kind of just let this soften and get sweet.
Yes. Okay, so to this, we're gonna add some garlic. You want to add some garlic?
Yeah.
Here
We
you
got a
go,
little
buddy.
popper. Yes.
And I have to say, so I married a guy who told me that my garlic breath is sexy. So I did a good. Did I not find my one?
That didn't work on my. Yeah, that didn't work for me.
You popped it right
There we
in.
go. Yep.
These are cool.
Yeah, these are cool. This is called Root Gardens. They're awesome. And again, you can just kind of pop them, drop, and they're done. They're easy. This smells really good. What do you got?
This is rosemary and thyme.
Yeah.
So I'm just going
That
to
looks
add that in,
very
and I'll tell you about it. My mother, so my dad was coastal, and he did seafood. That was a big thing for them. But my mom was more inland, and they were resourceful. This was povera cucina, right? This was
Wait, what is it called?
Povera cucina, like
Why
peasant
does everything
food.
she sounds so damn good?
Povera
I don't like it.
cucina.
Povera cucina. Okay, peasant food.
Yeah, and my mom, we're going to salt too. My parents used what they had, and so beans have a long shelf life, right? So they would. But the thing about Italian, like I said, long form. So they liked to soak the beans overnight, and then you cook the beans
it's a
for
whole
an
thing.
hour. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing, but that broth from that bean is so special. I just don't have time for that. So we have shortcuts here, and we'll show you in a bit that have to do with canned beans.
So was your mom just always in the kitchen, or your dad always? I mean, I know you grew up.
My
You
mom.
grew up. Okay, so your mom was always in the kitchen because at the pizza shop it
My
was your
dad.
By the way,
My
she
dad
mentioned
was
she grew up in a restaurant, a pizza shop in New York.
I did.
I love that.
My-
Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
so my, I get like super emotional when I talk about my
Yeah.
parents because they came here with nothing. They're Luigi and Maria Carmela Orlandina, 3 names I don't understand. And they had nothing, and they worked really, really hard. My dad opened his first pizzeria. When they got married, I think I was like 1, maybe. It burnt down, actually. They had to rebuild it again. It's a long story, but they worked so damn hard to build this restaurant. So I was there ever since I was very little, you know, making boxes, rolling dough.
We
doing
played
everything.
with Play-Doh. You played with actual dough.
I played with actual dough,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a wonderful experience to see your parents work super, super
Yeah.
hard. They paid for me to go through college. They've always been there for me. I might cry. That's how
Bring
this
the
goes.
tears, baby. And the pizzeria is still going.
Oh yeah, my brother Aurelio just took over. Elio.
And what's
he
it
just
called,
Took over.
the spot?
It's Gino's Pizzeria is the name of
Yeah,
the spot.
from what I know, and I lived in Manhattan for a little bit. I didn't get out to Westchester that much, but I've heard it is legendary in the area. Like, it will never leave, and if it does, there will be riots.
It better not leave.
Yeah. It's amazing. All right, so
It better not.
So Frito has done its thing. What are we up to next?
Okay, so now we're going to add in our tomatoes. So my parents are from the Naples area, so red sauces are predominant in that part of the woods. As you probably know, we're going to add that in.
I think it's so cool in Italy, like, and I'm sure you guys know this, traveling, every region is so different.
So
like, they
very
might not
different.
use red sauce up north, it's more white sauce based. Down south, there's almost like it's more vinaigrette. Like, it just depends where you go.
100% because they worked with what they had, which was easily
Yes.
available. And it was their seasonal too. My mom, I'm going to add the chicken stock
Do
now.
it then.
My mother, I love her because she'll like not eat fruit that's not in season. She's like, no, I'm not craving that because that's how she grew up. She grew up with what was seasonal, what was growing, what they picked. She said she used to travel like 1.5 miles to go get milk, actually, like from the cow.
I kind of love that because if you cook seasonally, and I do this, right? So like I'm not eating tomatoes in December. I wait till summer, and I can't freaking wait when the tomatoes are in season. And it's kind of like seeing an old buddy. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you from last year. Like it's new again. And so it's kind of fun to eat seasonally. It keeps it kind of alive in the kitchen to me. Now I'm seeing the cutest little pastas. What are these called?
Okay, these are ditalini. Everybody knows.
Has everyone heard ditalini?
No, you know ditalini.
Do you know ditalini?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 So it's a form of pastina, and pastina it ranges from everything from like the stelline that we know to the ancini to ditalini, just tiny little pasta.
Okay.
And if this
How
were,
long does that take to cook?
This should probably take about 10 minutes if we want it al
Okay.
dente. And I said this before, my mom probably wouldn't add it to the sauce. She would probably cook it separately because if this sits for too long, it will grow and not be al dente.
Yeah.
And they like everything al dente. Right?
Yeah. So you cook it and then you got to kind of watch it.
Yeah.
And not hold it so much. So that goes right in.
Goes right in, baby.
So basically, just to recap, we started with a sofrito, a little bit of garlic. We added some tomatoes. We added some beautiful stock, and now the ditalini.
The ditalini.
Ditalini, that's such a cute name. I want to name my dog that, yes.
Yeah.
And we let that cook and kind of for about 10 minutes, and then it kind of looks like this. Now,
So
at this,
beautiful.
which doesn't look that different, but you can tell in 10 minutes,
richness.
it's
No,
rich.
yeah.
The pasta is beautifully cooked through. So what do we do at this stage?
And it also, the pasta will add to the starchiness, which is amazing. Okay, so now this is my hack. I told you that my mom usually soaks, cooks, uses the broth that the beans were cooked in to make the actual soup. We don't have that flavor, so we want to add that back. So what I did is I blend a
This is
can
genius.
of the cannellini beans, and you
Yes.
can see it immediately starts to thicken.
It's such a smart, healthy way to thicken a soup or a sauce. If you ever have a soup and you're like, man, this is just watery, grab a can of cannellini beans, grind it up, and add it in, and it will just become
This
creamy.
richness, this
I've
creaminess,
actually added
yeah.
it to risotto too, instead of butter
Ooh, I love that.
and cheese,
I
and
love
it gives
that.
it a really good creaminess too. So you just add all those beans in. This is what you're known for, by the way, Ereka, is these are recipes that go date so many years back, and they take hours and hours, and you think you got to cook for hours and hours to kind of taste Italy. You don't.
You don't.
You can find the right places, right, and really make those moves, and you've done that, and honestly, thank God you have.
Oh, you're so
It's
sweet.
the best.
Thank you.
It's the best.
I always want to. I feel like less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying it with my family is key. Right? I want to be.
Absolutely. That's all we all want.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to let those kind of cook. I did want to do something. I'm going to kind of
Yeah.
surprise you for that. First of all, I want to ask you, you grew up in a pizzeria
Yes.
in New York. would you consider yourself a pizza snob or not really? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think I'm a snob of many things actually when it comes to food, but definitely pizza.
Well, we thought it would be fun. You're in Seattle, so you traveled 3,000 miles from here. So we wanted. Can we bring out one of the pizzas that I got for Ereka to try?
Oh my gosh.
Give it over there.
I'm so excited.
All right. So I'm not going to tell you where these places are from, but I would say this is my favorite New York style in Seattle pizza. Okay. So this is New York style. All right. Yeah, go for it.
I love already that it's got these burnt, crispy edges,
Yes.
and I love how they make the pepperoni turn that. Look at that. I love that. Can you see that?
I like the fold. Be real. Be real.
Why do I take such big bites all the time? I'm so obnoxious that way. It's so good though.
Yeah?
Really good.
Okay, out of 10.
I'm definitely like 8 or 9.
Okay, I love it. All right, put it back here. Put it back. No. I got more for you. So that's our classic kind of New York vibe
I like that
over
a
on
lot.
the West Coast. Okay,
I like
8 or
it.
9 is like I'm feeling a
No,
little
it's good.
perplexed.
It's good.
We wanted to throw a little curveball at you.
Okay.
So have you ever heard of a Seattle dog?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Everyone here is laughing.
Wait.
So a Seattle dog late night, maybe you've had a couple drinks, gone out to the bar,
I've been
whatever.
there. I've
Yeah,
been there.
maybe a little concert. There's hot dog stands here in Seattle, and we
Oh,
do
that would be
hot
neat.
dog, cream cheese, caramelized onion, maybe a little jalapeno. So we brought a pizza that's inspired
Wait,
by that.
I am loving this.
Let's try this.
The cream
Ladies and
cheese-
gentlemen, the Seattle dog
Oh,
pizza.
shut up.
Yeah.
It looks delicious.
I'm gonna take a bite with you on this one because I've never even
Yes.
tried this one. You want to grab a piece?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if you think
yeah.
about it, hot dog is salami. I mean, it's like pepperoni.
As long as it's not pineapple.
Oh,
on
you
a
want the
pizza,
pineapple? You want to do pineapple?
I'm not a big fan
Me
of
neither.
it.
Yeah. Cheers.
I mean, I bet you it's good, but cheers.
Cheers.
It's sweeter than I expected.
Which is not what your favorite thing is in the world.
No.
It's got heat. It's a little dry. I want more of the cream cheese. But I would say, honestly, from a flavor combo sitch, I'm in. What do you think?
I'm in, especially if it's late night.
That's our little Seattle pizza review. All right. While we've been doing that, this pasta
Fagioli.
Oh my God. Look at this. I mean, it just looks insane. Do you finish it with everything? I mean, I know you have this. What is this?
Okay, so this is a basil oil, and this is if you have the extra time. I combine basil and olive oil in a blender with some salt.
Okay.
And then you strain it through a cheesecloth. Maybe a little bit of lemon juice too to get in there to give it a little bit of that
And that just
brightness.
stays good. You can just have
Yeah,
that.
you can have that in the,
Yeah.
and you can put that right. As long as you strain it a few times, you can keep this in the fridge. And what I'll do is I'll garnish it once it gets inside
All right,
the bowl.
so just go to kind of the bottom here. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. This looks like just comfort
Look,
food.
that's so good for you too.
And I
That's
lo-
like a lot of love and a lot of nutrition.
Yes. I mean, does this to you just scream childhood?
Yes, it does. I'm gonna hit you. Can I hit
me.
you?
Hit me hard. Yep.
All right, here we
Beautiful.
go.
All right, let's try. Yeah. It smells incredible.
That was so good. Oh, did I give it enough salt? We'll see.
Honestly, it doesn't even like
I
to
love
me.
it.
But to me, that's like our matzo ball soup in Jewish. Like this is just so. It's like medicine.
They say that about pastina too, that it's Italian mom's penicillin is what they call it.
I have a little announcement today. We're gonna break it here, right here on Homemade Live. Guess who's coming out with their first cookbook? Give it up.
Nervous.
This is number 1, right?
This is the first one, yeah.
So I know we can't divulge a lot, but what can we divulge?
It's going to be more of what you know me for, and that's just delivering food that is a little elevated but still simple to prepare. I think everyone is worried about dinner, what to make for
Yes.
dinner, what to make for dinner. So let's solve that problem. I'll try to do it in a cookbook.
You do it way more in a cookbook, but just what you do for us every day,
gonna give you a
guys.
kiss.
Yeah, I love it.
Mwah.
We'll be right back with more Homemade Live. All right, we are back at Italian Cooking School with our buddy Ereka Vetrini, and every single episode ends with a little bit of a chin-chin.
I knew I liked this show for a reason.
You do love this show, and are you a Bellini fan?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna make the most stunning rhubarb Bellini.
Oh, that sounds
This is
good.
gonna have a little Aperol, so good. You need 3 ingredients for this. So you need rhubarb. You a fan?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
put a little bit in the bottom of each one of these flutes. So what we did is we just took rhubarb, a pinch of sugar or honey,
Tell me how
and we
much.
just cooked it until it was soft and kind of looks like applesauce, right? And then Aperol.
pretty.
Yeah, this is part of Italian cooking. So we do a little swig of that.
Okay.
Okay, about an ounce each. Beautiful. Aren't those already gorgeous?
Oh my
I know.
goodness gracious.
We can put a little orange twist in there.
In there. Just
And
like
then,
that.
yeah, and then the Italian champagne Prosecco. Yes? We're gonna saber this, which means we're gonna take it off with a knife. At home, get it really cold. Make sure there's a little line running up, and then you just kind of follow the line.
Oh, I never even
Okay.
noticed that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just. Dude!
Isn't that awesome?
Freaking up! Hold on.
And I know. Easy peasy.
Wait. I always thought that it just the cork. No, like the whole top comes off.
We have one speed here at Homemade Live.
Oh my goodness.
I love it. Well, yeah, top it off.
Good.
Guys, this is a cheers to Italian cooking school. This is the best place to learn to cook. And you, my dear, have brought it to the world. Italian cooking for all of us. So thank you for being here. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next time on the Homemade Live. Chin chin. Oh, yeah.